Hey traders, what's up? To watch this video for Wednesday, August 4th. SPY basically sitting at all-time highs again. I'm going to show you a few highlights from today and then get right into the watch this video. I mentioned this WHLM over the second 5-minute candle. So the opening candle 676, the second candle 670. So over 670 was my idea. And it ended up going to 895. Pretty neat one, but certainly not the highlight of the day. I'll get to that. NURO. Kevin N called this over 1512, which kind of had a cup and handle. There's the earlier high, 1511. Right there, it hit 1510, and there's the break. And it, within 10 minutes maybe, it was up to 1621, about a $1.09 move. Nice call by Kevin M. Still not the highlight of the day though. FLGC, as this was coming down, I called a fives buy zone somewhere in the 1190s idea, and we had someone get filled, I think, in the chat room at 1188. That's beautiful, but the mid fives buy zone, I would argue, was probably around 1195, which would have been right about there. You know, a whole number flush too, and then it ripped from there. So that was kind of neat, and I got a whole bunch of people thanking me for that one. So it went from about 1195 to 1474. Mike Z, by the way, was the first one to post that idea, FLGC. And then the biggest highlight of the day would be ARCT. Wayne called it right here-ish through 47, right where my cursor is. And what did it do? It went to almost 60. Went to 59.79, $12.79 move. By the way, in about an hour, if that, on about 50 cents risk. Amazing call by Wayne. So there's some highlights from today. What are we watching for tomorrow? Having trouble typing that. FLGC certainly extended, but a big rip, so we're going to watch it again tomorrow. Same thing with ARCT. Massive move today. We're going to watch it again tomorrow. NRXP, as you guys know, I'm only going to take any of these if they give us one of our A-plus intraday setups that we look for, right? NRXP is kind of obscure because it had this really nice move, came back down, and it's kind of just chopping along sideways. But I feel like, okay, it found support, much lower volume lately too, found support at the 20-day, and I think one of these days it might break out back to the upside. SEED, which I've been watching for several days, and then I think today I did not have it on the watch list. I don't even feel bad about this breakout though, because if you look at it on 5-minute candles, before it broke, it maybe traded 40,000 shares. So I'm not taking that even if it breaks the high, even though it's kind of a resistance break. And then it just ripped over the next 10 minutes. But I didn't call it. I had it on a chart, but I didn't take it and ended up going out and closing at the high of the day. But just a slow, low volume climb all day. So I'm going to watch it tomorrow. You know, and it's still got, let's see, the 200 days around 14.14, I think. Plus you have this recent high at 14.40. So it could have a follow-through day, but Seed is the kind of stock I only want to trade if it's got a headline, so you got nice volume, right? And it just makes it a little more liquid and easier to trade. PayPal goes back on balance watch. It did put in a green candle today, so we're going to continue to watch that for an intraday setup. I don't love having this on watch because it's super scary, right? In 2 sessions, not to mention that this was 80 back in May, right? Not that it should have been. But then in 2 sessions, it's fallen from 28.90 to the low today was 641. You know, the whole stock, everything about it feels like a scam. I haven't studied it, but there's enough people involved and looked into this. It feels very, very scammy. But at the same time, I'm a day trader, and it's fallen from 29 bucks to like almost $6. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it for an A-plus bounce setup tomorrow. But I won't bet the farm on it, even if I get an A-plus setup. XBIO really isn't that pretty, but it had a huge move from 2 to almost to over 550, and then kind of reversed yesterday, and then today kind of an ugly day. But we're getting down near that buy zone we look for, and it's a recent high flyer, so it does go on bounce watch for tomorrow. APT also on bounce watch, one of the mask plays. Got a couple red days now back into the 8-day, back into some support. So that goes on bounce watch. Speaking of support, this is support.com, SPRT, back down to the 20-day after a really nice run. Couple red days, so a few days lower. Anyway, let's watch SPRT for a potential bounce tomorrow. CODX is kind of obscure, but you had a big pop back here. Then you put in a lower high a few days ago, and it holding up pretty well. Certainly interesting over the $11 area, knowing that the high of this day was 11.20. You can't see it on this chart, but it's kind of basically the 200 days kind of right here, hitting the tops of all these. So maybe if it breaks through that, we do get a nice run. We'll see. VXRT. Kind of obscure too, but it gapped up the other day. It looked like it was selling off, and next thing you know, it's curling back up. It's kind of in a tight range on the daily, so I don't love it, but I'm going to watch it. CEMI, big pop today after this. Well, I had a huge run, then came back down, kind of became an ugly chart, but starting to curl back up. Had some nice sounding news today, so that goes on watch tomorrow for a follow-through day. And then lastly, APDN, big pop back here. Another big pop today, closing well off its highs. But as a day trade, I'm going to watch that one tomorrow as well. And we'll add gappers to this list in the pre-market. And there should be plenty to trade. I'll see you all in the chat room in the morning.